Well, a very good morning. Saturday the 15th, 6 a.m. Chicken's been fed. Just having a look at the builders. Building, nothing happening for the next couple of days now. It's coming on. Hey, hop. Yeah, it's coming on. Cool day today, nice cool morning. Had coffee this morning already. He's playing also. Silly sods. Sun is not showing over the horizon at the moment. Just discovered more puppies next door. Yeah, the exciting thing about any build when you're seeing it going up and your plan starts working and coming together, that's the great thing about doing a build. This is the second I'm doing as a start from scratch. The other one I think I mentioned to you was in South Africa. House of a similar size actually. A long time ago. This one we're going for full timber, well, mainly timber frame, timber and bamboo. Actually, timber, you know, when you is more, you know, people say, well, isn't that riskier with typhoons and things like timber rotting, termites, all this kind of stuff. Now, obviously, timber's got to be the right type of timber. It's got to be reinforced, obviously, and it's got to be timber that's not going to be affected by termites as well. But timber's a fantastic product to use in building, and I've said before. As I said before, it's a different feeling when you're living in a timber house to when you're living in a concrete house. Totally different. Or brick house, face brick house in the UK. There will be some ongoing maintenance required on the house, of course. As they're ongoing, every 5 years or so, we'll need to treat some of the lumber parts. We're also bringing in some extra bamboo for some more aesthetic appeal to the property as well. But generally the design is very good and our way of living. So, and I'll get into that more when we've got the structure up and walls up to a degree, and then I can start talking through the thinking of this property. We're also looking at it from an angle of it's something, you know, we're not building this. When you buy properties or build properties, usually in the Western world, you're building them as a financial investment as well. This isn't being built as a financial investment. This is being built as a home for Richie and I, initially, and Mikey. Then, of course, the generations that and people that follow us, of course. But that's it. It's not being sold. It's not being built with an investment in mind of being sold. It's being purely built for a property that will stay on this compound, on this family compound, forever, and just needs to be maintained by those who continue here. It's not something. It's something. If we had to leave tomorrow, wouldn't worry me. Something we can walk away from. It's that sort of property we're building. It's not one that. So, people who look at building and they think, well, I've got to consider. That's another point about thinking like you would do in the Western world. Sure, in the Western world, you're looking at your property as an investment. I'm talking more of a financial investment, not with this. This is a home, so we're building it and designing it as we want it for our use, and how we want it to feel aesthetically, and how we want it to be environmentally friendly. And also, we want it safe, and we want it practical. Changing the subject, well, on the theme of investments and theming on investments, and getting into politics for a few minutes, and the Trump administration, and what the hell are they trying to do? Are they stupid, or is he stupid? Well, I think he is stupid, but I don't think he's just stupid in the sense that he doesn't know what he's doing. I think he knows what he's doing. Whether he can achieve it or not is the concern. But I think his overall thinking is, if he can crash the world economy, including the United States, he will stop all economies, or to a large extent most economies of the world. Certainly all the big ones are in decline at the moment, including the United States. So USA's in decline, China's in decline, Russia's obviously in decline, Europe's in decline. The thing is, USA is, although it's in decline, it's not declining as much as China is at the moment, because no one's buying, or there's a sort of a reduction in the call-off of goods being manufactured in China for the rest of the world due to the demands at the moment. That's what it is. In this time frame, Donald Trump, he obviously wants to bring things back home to America to be made in America. He wants things used in America. Hence the high tariffs, and why he's going on this tariff war with everybody, really, to make it so expensive to bring finished goods in that eventually his logic is people will end up saying, if they want to be in the American market, they'll have to manufacture there. I mean, that's what his simplistic mind is saying to himself. And if he has to crash the economy of the world to get there, he will. And I've just discovered he's not just doing it with goods, he's doing it with shippers as well. So if you're shipping goods using a Chinese vessel, listen to this, a Chinese vessel, so in logistics, and many of these large shipping companies, a large proportion of their fleet these days are coming out of Chinese shipyards. So for every vessel that's a Chinese vessel, doesn't matter if it's registered somewhere else, if it's built in China, there's a levy goes on that ship of about 1.5 million for making one drop, one port. So if it makes 2 or 3 ports, drops in the USA, it's 1.5 every time, 1.5 million every time. I was speaking to one of my colleagues who works in the shipping industry. They were saying They just calculated what it will cost them in terms of shipping to the USA. It's going to cost them another $8 billion. $8 billion in additional cost. That's not the tariff for the product they're carrying, that's purely the additional cost. So obviously they're looking for alternative options they can do. One company, one of their competitor companies, has already made a $5 billion investment in something in the USA because they have a fleet of mainly, I think one in 5 of their fleet is not Chinese, and they've got something like 130 vessels, large container vessels. So it gives you an idea. You know, these things you hear and read and concern yourselves with, but you sort of say, why? And that's the only thing I can. He hasn't said that, but I mean, I think he's just going out for an all-out. Best way of doing this and re-leveling the playing fields is we have to crash the world economy. And I discussed that about a year ago, actually. And thought it would just be a pie in the sky sort of thing that he would do if he was in office. And there it is. I think it's happening, guys. I think that's exactly what he's doing. In a roundabout way. You know, we're focusing on little things like the war here or this there and all these things, which are important. Obviously, they are going to be a problem. Because if he walks away from anything like that, it's going to be a problem for others as well. But that's his ultimate aim. That's why he's surrounded with the likes of the high-tech giants. You know, that's why Tesla knew beforehand that, and Musk and him and others, that they were going to be wiping huge amounts of value from the stock exchange in this process of tariffs. But it's not the tariffs, it's the uncertainty in the markets that it's causing. You know, tariffs up 20% or 25%, and all goods, all this, all that. You know, and then he gets a little bit of retaliation. He creates uncertainty in the market, which he's doing deliberately, because he knows that. And that in itself is stuffing up the economics of the world. Not just the countries, the world. You know, it's affecting the economics of every country, including here where we are in the Philippines. The stock exchange is being affected. So there are significant things happening everywhere. And our sun is coming up. So I think it's time for a second cup of coffee, don't you? Yeah, being a Saturday morning, I've got lessons a little bit later on, mid-morning, around 10 o'clock time. And yeah, Saturday, as you know, Saturday and Sunday are busy for me. So I'll be doing a lot of that. I'll be popping in and out here. Builders are not working for the next couple of days, so I'm just going to make sure, I just came down to make sure there's nothing lying around that kids could get their feet in or get stuck. I'm a bit worried, there's a few nails lying around. That noise you hear is pumping up the pressure of the water pump for the irrigation system in the field behind us here. I hear my dog barking in the front, so talk to you later. Cheerio.